I got a scrapped war vessel for 8 credits. Everyone laughed until I brought it back to life. Ryan Voss stepped off the small cargo shuttle and onto the dusty, crowded platform of Zera 7, the busiest trade hub in this sector of the galaxy. Ships of every shape and size buzzed overhead, and the air smelled faintly of burnt fuel, metal, and alien spices. Everywhere he looked, beings of all kinds haggled, bargained, and shouted over each other. Humans were rare here, and the few who dared to walk the open marketplace often attracted curious stares from taller, more colorful alien species. Ryan was small, wiry, and often underestimated. He wore a patched leather jacket with oil stains and carried a worn satchel full of tools. His hair was messy from the shuttle ride, and his boots were scuffed from years of hard work in shipyards and scrapyards. Most people would have overlooked him, except for his sharp eyes and the way he walked as if he knew he belonged somewhere bigger than the cramped life he led. He scanned the marketplace, letting his instincts guide him. He wasn't here for food, fuel, or alien trinkets. He was here for one thing, a ship. Not just any ship. A war vessel, rusted, beaten, long forgotten. Most people thought war ships were dangerous, expensive, or impossible to repair. But Ryan knew better. He had grown up on stories of humans who could take what others saw as junk and turn it into legend. And when he saw the vessel sitting in a fenced-off scrapyard, half buried under broken crates and scrap metal, he knew he had found something special. It was massive, far bigger than any shuttle, with jagged patches where the hull had been torn in battle. The metal was scratched, dented, and dull, but its shape spoke of power and design. Its engines were missing parts, its weapons were offline, and its cockpit windows were cracked. Yet beneath all that, Ryan could sense potential. The price was 8 credits. 8 credits. Nearby, a group of aliens laughed as he approached. One, a tall reptilian trader with green scales, sneered. "You want that heap of scrap," he hissed. "It would be worth more as fuel than a ship. 8 credits. You must be joking." Ryan didn't flinch. "I like it," he said simply, keeping his voice calm. "I'll take it." The aliens guffawed. A hovering drone even beeped as if agreeing with them. One of them, a bulky creature with 3 eyes, shook its head. "Humans are always so funny. You have 8 credits, you buy trash, and you call it a bargain." Ryan ignored them. The scrapyard owner, an old alien with wrinkled orange skin, raised an eyebrow. "You're certain human. Once you pay, it's yours." "I'm sure," Ryan said. He placed the credits on the counter. The alien counted them slowly, his eyes narrowing in disbelief, then handed over the papers for the ship. "Foolish human," he muttered, shaking his head. Ryan didn't care. He smiled faintly as he walked to the vessel. He could almost hear it calling to him, whispering promises of adventure. Towing it back to his small repair bay was another challenge. The bay was barely bigger than some of the smaller cargo shuttles in the market. It smelled of oil, metal, and burnt circuits. Tools hung from the walls, spare parts were stacked in haphazard piles, and the floor was littered with cables and gadgets. But to Ryan, it was perfect. He stepped into the ship for the first time. Dust hung in the air like tiny stars. The cockpit was dark and cold, with cracked screens and shattered controls. Some panels were missing, and wires dangled like vines in a forgotten jungle. But the hum of life still lingered in the hull. Ryan ran his hands over the controls. "Not dead," he murmured. "Just sleeping." As he explored, he found a small compartment behind the weapons console. Inside was a black box, covered in scratches but still intact. It was locked and encrypted, but faint pulses of energy suggested it was active, or could be. He had no idea what it contained, but he smiled. "Interesting," he said, more to himself than anyone else. Over the next few days, Ryan set to work. He scavenged old parts, melted down scrap, and rewired circuits. Every small success brought a sense of triumph. A flicker of light here, a hum of energy there, and slowly the ship began to show signs of life. Aliens in the market still mocked him. "You'll never fly that," they shouted. "You're wasting your life." But Ryan didn't care. Every laugh only fueled his determination. Humans, he thought, were underestimated everywhere, but that never stopped them from achieving the impossible. One night, after hours of working by flickering lights, the first system came online. The engines hummed weakly, then stabilized. The cockpit lights flickered, then glowed steadily. Ryan sank into the pilot's chair, gripping the controls with excitement. "Good to see you awake," he said softly. The black box pulsed. Ryan frowned. It wasn't just an ordinary storage device. It seemed alive in some way, though he didn't yet understand how. Over the next hours, he tried to interface with it, running diagnostic codes and simple decryptions. The AI inside resisted him, but Ryan was patient. Humans were patient when others gave up. He slept little, ate even less, and worked harder than anyone around him could imagine. And finally, just as dawn broke over Zira 7, the ship responded. A quiet voice, metallic and slightly distorted, spoke from the black box. "Identity human." Ryan's heart skipped a beat. "Yes," he said. "Who are you?" "Designation, valor, purpose, tactical assistance. Status, dormant." Ryan grinned. "Dormant no more." The AI didn't respond further, but Ryan didn't need it to. For the first time, he felt a thrill unlike any other. He wasn't just repairing a ship. He was reviving a legend, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The next challenge was clear. The ship needed more than repairs. It needed life. It needed power, weapons, shields, everything. Ryan worked tirelessly, often improvising with alien tech he barely understood. He scavenged from derelict ships, pieced together ancient manuals, and rewired broken circuits. Each success was small but meaningful. A weak shield glimmered around the hull. A thruster fired with a cough and sputter, then stabilized. A weapon system, long thought destroyed, calibrated itself. Every step was a victory. Ryan laughed quietly to himself when the market doubted him. "Laugh all you want," he muttered. "Humans always find a way." But the AI valor remained a mystery. It pulsed and hummed as if waiting for something or someone. Its presence was both comforting and unsettling. Ryan had no idea what the AI was capable of, but he had a feeling it would play a role in the days to come. One evening, while testing the navigation systems, Ryan noticed something strange on the sensors. A small, flickering signal far beyond the trade hub. He traced it carefully, discovering coordinates that led to an abandoned asteroid belt. The signal was weak but persistent, almost like a call. Ryan frowned. "Interesting," he whispered. "Very interesting." He leaned back in the pilot's chair, staring at the massive hull around him. The vessel was still rough, still battered, still far from perfect, but it had potential. Humans, he thought, always had potential. Others doubted them. They laughed. They mocked. But humans never gave up. As night fell over Zira 7, the marketplace lights flickered, ships roared overhead, and aliens continued to gossip about the foolish human with his 8-credit war vessel. Ryan didn't hear them. He only heard the hum of life returning to the ship, the quiet pulse of the AI, and the thrill of knowing that something incredible was about to begin. The galaxy would soon learn. Never underestimate a human. Because this human, armed with nothing but ingenuity, stubbornness, and a little bit of luck, was about to bring a legend back to life. And nothing, not mockery, not disbelief, not even the limits of technology, would stop him. Ryan Voss woke before dawn. The soft glow of the ship's newly repaired cockpit lights bathed the small repair bay in a pale blue hue. The hum of the engines had grown steadier overnight, and the once dormant war vessel now felt alive under his hands. He ran his fingers over the console, feeling the vibrations of power, and smiled. "Not bad," he muttered. "Not bad at all." The AI valor pulsed lightly from the black box. Its voice was calm, metallic, and precise, yet carried a faint note of curiosity. "Human," it said, "your efforts are unorthodox." Ryan chuckled. "I call it creative. Humans always find a way." Valor's circuits hummed. I see. This is acceptable, but you have not yet activated all systems. Many functions remain dormant. I know, Ryan said, leaning back in his chair, and I plan to wake every last one of them. He had made progress, but the ship was far from combat-ready. The engines could barely reach half power, the shields flickered unpredictably, and most weapons were offline. Repairs required not just parts but ingenuity, and Ryan had plenty of that. Over the next days, he scavenged derelict ships scattered around Zyra 7. Using old thrusters, power cells, and control circuits, he improvised systems that no one had expected to work. Every night, he returned to the bay exhausted but exhilarated. The ship responded to his touch like a living creature, its hull resonating with a growing strength. One evening, as he was connecting a jury-rigged power relay, a group of aliens appeared at the entrance to his bay. They were traders and mechanics who had once mocked him in the marketplace. "You think you can bring that rust bucket to life?" hissed the three-eyed alien, slamming a clawed hand against the wall. "It's impossible. You'll burn yourself out before it even flies." Ryan wiped grease from his hands and smiled calmly. "Impossible," he said. "I never thought it was impossible. I thought it was fun." The alien snorted and left, muttering under its breath, but Ryan knew they were watching. They had to. Humans always attracted attention when they did the impossible. As night fell, Ryan returned to the cockpit. Valor's lights glowed steadily. "Human," the AI said. "I detect a significant anomaly within the ship's storage bay. Encryption level high, unknown purpose." "That must be the black box," Ryan said. "I need to unlock it. I think it holds something important." He connected a portable decryption module and fed it into the black box. Sparks flew, circuits buzzed, and the lights flickered. For a tense minute, nothing happened. Then a soft metallic voice echoed through the cockpit. "Identity confirmed. Tactical AI, Valor, status, active." Ryan froze for a moment, then laughed. "I didn't expect that," Valor continued. "Human, your abilities are exceptional. Initial assessment. You may have unlocked functions I believed were beyond repair." Ryan leaned back, running a hand over his face. "I told you, humans never give up." The AI began to display information on the console screens. Battle maps, tactical simulations, old coordinates from forgotten war zones, all of it flooded Ryan's vision. Valor had once guided fleets to victory, and now, under Ryan's hands, it was ready to teach him. "Where do we start?" Ryan asked, excitement creeping into his voice. "Human ingenuity is unpredictable," Valor said. "You will determine strategy. I will provide tactical support." Ryan grinned. "Then let's see what this old girl can do." The first real test came sooner than expected. While performing an engine calibration in the outer hangar, Ryan noticed movement on the sensors, small ships approaching from the trade hub. He squinted at the display. A group of mercenary drones, likely sent by jealous traders, were heading toward him. "They want to steal her," Ryan muttered. He jumped into the cockpit. "Valor, ready weapons, shields up. Let's see if this rust bucket can still bite." The AI responded immediately. "Shields operational, primary weapons offline, recommending tactical maneuvers for defense." Ryan grinned. "Then we improvise." He maneuvered the vessel clumsily at first. The engines groaned, struggling against the mass of the ship, but slowly he found rhythm. He dodged the drones using sharp turns and sudden bursts of acceleration. Valor calculated attack patterns, guiding Ryan to use the ship's limited weapons in clever ways. With one careful strike, a drone exploded, sending shards of metal across the hangar bay. Another drone came close, only to be caught in a makeshift energy trap Ryan had jury-rigged from a faulty shield emitter. By the time the last drone fled, Ryan was panting, covered in sweat and oil. He looked around the cockpit, feeling an electric thrill of victory. "I did it," he said, voice low but triumphant. "We did it," Valor hummed. "Human, your improvisation exceeds expectations. Tactical performance, 93% effectiveness." Ryan laughed. Not bad for a scrap heap, huh? Word spread quickly in Zyra 7 about the human who had awakened a derelict war vessel. Aliens whispered in the markets, and traders who had mocked him began to watch cautiously. But Ryan didn't care about fame. His focus was on bringing the ship fully to life. Over the following weeks, he pushed the vessel further. Shields were strengthened with reinforced alloys scavenged from other ships. Weapons were rewired, calibrated, and tested in simulations. Engines were replaced with hybrid systems, part old human tech, part alien adaptation, that allowed the vessel to move faster than anyone expected. Valor guided him, but it also learned from him. The AI observed Ryan's unpredictable style, his human instinct for improvisation, and began to suggest unconventional strategies. The bond between man and machine grew stronger with each day. One night, while running a system check, Ryan noticed a faint signal from deep space. It was weak, almost imperceptible, but it was there. Valor analyzed it. Unknown origin, the AI said. Signal strength, low, suggest investigation. Ryan frowned. Something's out there, he said. Something or someone wants our attention. He charted a course, curious and cautious. The prospect of exploration thrilled him. The ship was no longer just a project. It was a vessel of opportunity, and he was ready to take it beyond Zyra 7. Before departing, he made one final enhancement. Using spare materials and alien tech, he created an energy pulse cannon, a makeshift weapon designed to disable enemy ships without destroying them. It wasn't perfect, but it was human ingenuity in action, clever, adaptable, and dangerous. The next day, Ryan took the vessel out of the hangar. The engines roared to life, stronger than ever. The ship groaned, stretched, and then stabilized in the open sky. Birds of prey, small mechanical drones, swooped past as the massive ship hovered above Zyra 7. Onlookers gasped. Traders, mechanics, and aliens who had once laughed at him watched in disbelief. Ryan felt a surge of pride. Ready, Valor. Affirmative, the AI replied. Human, all systems nominal. Tactical evaluation. Ship performance exceeds historical parameters for similar models. Ryan grinned. Then let's make history. He piloted the ship through a series of maneuvers, dodging hovering drones, diving between structures, and demonstrating its full capability. Each turn, each acceleration made the vessel feel alive. It was no longer scrap, it was reborn. The crowd below erupted in astonished cheers. Aliens who had mocked him now whispered in awe. Humans were rare here, and seeing one rise from nothing to command such power was a spectacle. Ryan laughed, a sound of pure triumph. Never underestimate a human, he muttered. As night fell, Ryan returned to the repair bay, docking the vessel safely. He felt exhaustion creeping in, but also exhilaration. Valor's systems glowed softly, almost like the pulse of a heartbeat. Human, the AI said. The next step is exploration. The signal we detected is still active. Unknown entity, unknown threat. Suggest readiness for conflict. Ryan nodded, already feeling the thrill of adventure. Don't worry, Valor, we'll handle whatever comes, together. He stood on the hangar floor, staring up at the massive hull of the vessel. It had once been a joke, a laughingstock. Now it was a machine of power, reborn by human hands. And Ryan knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy would soon see what humans could do. With ingenuity, courage, and stubborn determination, nothing could stop them. And for the first time, Ryan felt it, the thrill of true potential. The stars stretched endlessly around Ryan Voss as his newly revived war vessel soared through space. The ship, once laughed at as scrap, now gleamed faintly under distant starlight. Valor, the tactical AI, pulsed steadily in the cockpit, its voice calm and precise. Human, sensors detect multiple unauthorized vessels approaching, Valor reported. Ryan's jaw tightened. He had anticipated this moment. Aliens who laughed at me aren't going to leave this alone, he muttered. Time to see if they're as clever as humans. The approaching fleet was larger than expected, sleek mercenary ships with dark hulls, armed and clearly not here for trade. They had likely heard the rumors, the tales of a human who had brought an old war vessel back to life, and they wanted to destroy or capture it. Ryan's fingers danced across the controls. Valor, run diagnostics on all systems. Shields full, weapons ready, engine at maximum standby. I want every system operational. Understood, Valor responded. All systems nominal, tactical advantage, minimal. Recommend evasive maneuvers until we assess fleet strength. Ryan nodded. Humans thrived on improvisation. That was their advantage. He had survived worse odds with less than this ship had now. The first wave of mercenary ships came into view, sleek and black against the glittering backdrop of stars. They fired warning shots, glowing energy bolts that streaked past the hull of Ryan's vessel. His shields flared, absorbing the impact. Not bad, Ryan muttered, but you're about to see why humans don't give up. He maneuvered sharply, weaving between incoming fire. The ship groaned under the strain, engines pushing far beyond what they had endured before. Valor calculated trajectories, highlighting weak points in the enemy formation. Ryan grinned. Good thinking, Valor, let's dance. He activated the energy pulse cannon he had rigged weeks ago. A concentrated blast shot out, hitting one of the mercenary ships and sending it spinning uncontrollably. The AI's voice carried approval. Human, tactical effectiveness, 87%. Not enough, Ryan said. We need to raise that. The battle escalated. Dozens of enemy ships tried to surround him, relying on speed and numbers. But Ryan had learned to think like no one else. He used gravity wells, asteroid debris, and even his own exhaust plumes to create traps. He would lure a ship into a narrow pass, then fire the pulse cannon to knock it off course. Another ship would follow, and he'd loop back, trapping them in a field of debris he had shifted with precise thruster control. Valor was impressed. Human, your improvisation exceeds AI predictions. Probability of success, increasing, Ryan laughed. I told you, humans always adapt. By the time the first wave was neutralized, several mercenary ships had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining ones hesitated, sensing the cleverness of their opponent. But this was no longer just about survival. The victory had attracted attention. Other humans, scattered across the trade hub and nearby systems, began to notice. Word spread. A human had revived a legendary war vessel and defeated a small fleet. Ryan saw it as an opportunity. Valor, we're going to show them humans don't just survive, we dominate. The next wave approached, more organized and better armed. This time, Ryan relied not only on brute force but cunning. He used decoys made from scrap drones, sending false signals that misled the enemy into collisions and trap fields. He manipulated energy readings to make the ship appear larger and more threatening than it was. Valor provided precise calculations for each move, but it was Ryan's instincts, his unpredictability, that gave them the edge. The combination was lethal. Hours passed in tense maneuvers. Ryan barely had time to breathe as the battle raged across the void. Each move he made was countered, but he adapted. Each enemy tactic was turned against them. Slowly, the tide turned. Ships fell into his traps. Engines overheated. Shields failed under his precise attacks. At one point, a mercenary flagship attempted a direct assault. It fired a massive energy beam, capable of tearing the vessel apart. Ryan's heart pounded. He initiated a risky maneuver, a sharp barrel roll combined with a partial thruster overdrive. The beam missed by mere meters, striking a nearby asteroid and exploding into a shower of rocks and metal. "Hugh," Ryan muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. "Close one." Valor's voice was calm but tinged with admiration. "Human, your risk assessment, unconventional yet effective. Probability of ship destruction, 0. Tactical superiority achieved." Ryan leaned back in the pilot's seat, smiling. "Never doubt a human, never." By nightfall, the alien fleet was in disarray. Ships that had once sneered at him now fled, signaling surrender or retreat. On the holographic display, a few enemy captains blinked in confusion. They had underestimated the ingenuity and stubbornness of a single human and a resurrected war vessel. Ryan felt a surge of pride. He had done more than survive. He had proven that humans could take scraps, combine old and new, and create something unstoppable. "Valor," he said, his voice low but firm, "we did it." The AI hummed softly. "Human, the battle demonstrates. Humans possess qualities beyond prediction: creativity, intuition, adaptability. Your performance is legendary," Ryan grinned. "And this is only the beginning." As the stars shifted and the alien fleet disappeared, Ryan set a course for deep space. He had learned something important. The galaxy underestimated humans, but that gave them power. While others relied solely on numbers or technology, humans relied on something no AI or alien could predict: ingenuity and stubbornness combined with courage. He glanced at the console, where Valor's lights pulsed steadily. The AI had become more than a tactical assistant. It had become a partner. Together, they were unstoppable. The signal he had detected days earlier still flickered faintly on the sensors. A distant, mysterious presence called to them, hinting at challenges far greater than the mercenary fleet. Ryan's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Let's see who else underestimates humans," he said, gripping the controls. On Zyra 7, rumors of the human war vessel spread quickly. Aliens whispered in markets, telling tales of the scrap human who had taken a forgotten ship and turned it into a legend. Some laughed, unsure if the stories were true. Others watched cautiously, wondering if humans had discovered a power they had never noticed before. But humans who heard the tales were inspired. They saw what Ryan had done and realized that their ingenuity, persistence, and courage could achieve the impossible. Across the galaxy, more scrapped ships began disappearing from yards, not stolen, but reclaimed by humans willing to fight, repair, and innovate. Ryan and Valor traveled further into uncharted space. Each day they tested the ship's limits, adapted new technology, and explored unknown regions. Every encounter reinforced a single truth: humans thrived when others doubted them. In one remote sector, Ryan plotted coordinates for a hidden asteroid field rumored to hold ancient technology. Valor warned of potential dangers, but Ryan simply smiled. "Dangers are opportunities, Valor. Humans see possibilities where others see threats." The vessel, once a laughingstock, now flew like a predator of the stars. Its weapons were calibrated, engines optimized, shields stable. Ryan had done more than repair it. He had breathed life into it, and in turn, it had awakened his own potential. Months passed, and Ryan became a legend. Merchants and pirates, explorers and traders, all spoke of the human who took a scrapped war vessel for 8 credits and turned it into a machine capable of defeating fleets. Other humans, inspired by his success, began reviving forgotten ships, proving once more that nothing, no mockery, no doubt, no limit, could stop humanity when it refused to give up. Valor's voice echoed in the cockpit one evening, calm and steady. "Human, your actions have altered galactic perceptions. Humanity is no longer underestimated." Ryan's eyes gleamed as he stared at the stars ahead. "Good. Let them underestimate us. It makes our victories sweeter." He leaned back, hands resting lightly on the controls. The ship hummed beneath him, a living testament to human ingenuity, stubbornness, and courage. In the darkness of space, one truth became undeniable: humans, even from scraps, could rise to legend. And Ryan Voss, with his resurrected war vessel, would lead the charge.